What's up, my dudes? It's a Vigorous Q&A again after a 2-week hiatus, but I did do 3 live streams already this week. This is the 3rd live stream. Man, another day, another live stream, right? So welcome back to the Vigorous Q&A. I had a great holiday in Bali. I got a nice shirt from Adrian Ton. Says the Vigorous Crew, and on the back, it's got my logo. Look at this. Oh, and we have technical difficulties. 1 second, guys. Just have to reconnect everything. And then I'll be right back. Man, we're off to a right start. My glutes are too big, so I keep hitting everything. Too many side injections. All right, so I got this super cool shirt. Says the Vigorous Crew. There's only one. This is not a shirt that I'm going to give away because this was a gift for me from Adrian Tan from Singapore, who I met last Wednesday and a couple times at the gym, and we did some, let's say, supplement exchange. He needed something, I needed something, everybody wins. So, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see, where are we going to get started? All right, subscribe to the Clips channel. We're at 2,600 subscribers. I would like to see that Clips channel go up to 100,000 subscribers so I can make more ad revenue from the same videos I already made, right? Make sure you watch all of them, like all of them, leave a couple comments for the algorithm. Let's fuel the algorithm. I'm well aware that people are too busy for full deep dives, but everything is chopped up for your viewing pleasure. So if you just want to have a small snippet, a small selection of the longer videos that I've have on this YouTube channel, then subscribe to the Clips channel so you get everything delivered to you in a nice, digestible format. Yes. The viewer, the audience retention is far greater than this YouTube channel, so maybe we're going to make a pivot and just do clips only. But then, of course, the intelligent people with a longer attention span that don't spend their entire day scrolling on TikTok, they can easily sit through a 1 hour deep dive. Yeah, or I sure hope so. Let's see, a couple updates. Oh yeah, I put a poll up. It's linked down below. The Clips channel is also linked down below. Everything is linked down below in case you're interested. You're looking for something specific. I put a poll on which deep dive to post next. So let's see, where are we right now? Hopefully it doesn't fall out of the camera again. So the Ngenla deep dive is at 56%. Guess everybody wants to see the Ngenla deep dive. So if you guys really want to see it, then well, better get me those fucking views. If I do the Ngenla deep dive first and it only gets 5,000 views, then I'm not going to ask you guys again. But so you can vote down below. We have 700 votes so far. 56% are in favor of Ngenla. The 18% are in favor of the brain drive neurotropic factor deep dive. 8% in favor of DADA. And 70% in favor of Tirzepatide. But a lot of comments asking for all kinds of deep dives. Hey, if you want to see some specifics, send me $10,000 so I can speed that up. Right? I want to see a deep dive on Acto Vegan. $10,000, bro. I want to see a deep dive on Thymosin Alpha 1. $10,000, bro. The Bitcoin address is linked down below. So you can vote for deep dives. Looks like Ngenla deep dive is far in the lead. So I guess we're going to have to do that first. We did the Anabolic Roundtable episode 11. We're going to record episode 12 next week. That's the 1 year anniversary of the Anabolic Roundtable. I did the MOTC deep dive in the addendum live stream that's linked down below. I did the myonostal tripyrophosphate deep dive in the addendum live stream, also linked down below. Next Monday, we'll do the Trenbolone case reports. There's a new study which was published about a month ago from 3 Brazilian researchers. And they basically aggregated all of the case reports revolving around Trenbolone, so I analyzed most of them and discussed a couple of high-dose trend studies. Yeah. Yeah, all case reports, though. I didn't include them in my Trenbolone deep dive, but, Trenbolone always gets views, so might as well make a video about it. They'll be dropping on Monday. It's almost 40 minutes long. Yay. The GC1 Sobetirome deep dive is already recorded. It will probably be released next week. I might have to re-record a couple segments, but it depends on how the draft looks. So stay tuned. Hopefully we can get that out the door on Monday or next week. And then I'll do the YK11 oral versus sublingual versus injectable because that experiment ends in 1 week. So I got 1 more week left. I mean, it's been, let's say, 6 days so far. And at injectable YK11 blows sublingual YK11 and oral YK11 and any dose of epicatogen out of the water, hands down. Yeah, good stuff. Right? I mean, look at these cannons, bro. It's all hidden underneath the shirt, but I mean, It's this mosquito bites from Bali. Look at this shit. Can't believe it, bro. All hidden under the shirt. So that will be dropping, and then of course when the Sobetirome video is done, I'll whatever deep dives you guys want to see first, I'll get to work on that. Luckily for Ngenla, most of the scripting is already done. Just need to go through it to kind of confirm. Let's see, and then the Follistatin deep dive, because that experiment ends in 3 weeks. I'm starting Follistatin 344 on May the 5th, and then I'll run that for 2 weeks, see how that compares to injectable YK11. Then I have a video about TRT Is Safe, all the scientific evidence revolving around testosterone replacement therapy being safe. If that does well, I can also make another video about all the scientific evidence showing that TRT is deleterious for your health, right? One in favor and one showing that it's probably not a good idea, and you should just castrate yourself like you would do with, some of your pets, and then you can have a longer lasting life. BDNF deep dive, again, it's up to you if you want to see it. DADA deep dive, Tirzepatide deep dive, all up to you if you want to see that over the Ngenla deep dive, and then the rest. Well, it's all linked down below. I had a great holiday in Bali. Thanks for asking. I guess you guys are going to ask me about it. Hopefully, some of you guys saw that on Instagram. I was in good shape, had a lot of alcohol, and I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. And those beach clubs in Bali are something else. Yeah. Yeah. So I went to Finn's Beach Club. I went to, uh, let's see, Tropical Temptation, where I went 2 years ago. And then Ala's Room, where I also went 2 years ago. And three different hotels. So I went to some villa where there's construction all around, so they give us a discount. So for $200 per night, I had a villa 200 square meters. Insane, dude. The second villa was so, and then the third villa was Elevate Bali. I can highly recommend it. Elevate Bali is probably one of the best resorts that I've ever been to. You get your own villa, all made in woods, right? Nice nature setting, no neighbors that you see. And then you have an infinity pool with a jacuzzi, and the jacuzzi is a little bit too hot, and the infinity pool is a little bit too cold. So I went back and forth, no underwear, obviously, because nobody can see you, skinny dipping all the way through, doing the hot bath, hot jacuzzi, and the ice bath, the ice infinity pool, all while smoking a cigar. I mean, for $500 a night, what more do you want, man? Holy shit, that was great. Mm. And then I met a couple friends and went to the gym a couple times. Went to train at what is it? Jackson Peo's undefeated gym that's almost open. You can see an Instagram reel or Instagram video, and that's a great gym. I can highly recommend it. It will be semi-private though, so not everybody is invited. Because if you go to Obsidian Gym, holy fuck, you can't get a workout in there, dude. It's literally packed. Every fucking equipment. Like when you drive onto Obsidian Gym, you see that, man, the whole parking lot full with motorbikes. And then inside it's full with influencers recording their workout. And I've never seen those influencers anywhere. So they must be doing something, but they're all on their phone instead of really working out hard. So at least me and my buddy got a good workout in. And Body Factory is pretty okay. It was kind of quiet. Good stuff. And then we went to a couple restaurants, and but mostly the beach clubs and the resorts. Very, very relaxing. So if you want to go to Bali, I can highly recommend it. Today I installed Oblivion Remastered. It's yeah. I might have to spend more time on the computer playing video games than it's one of those games that you can't put down. So I just played for like 3 hours today, and I'm already lost in the world of Skyrim or Tamriel, basically. So yeah, might be some less videos coming up. And today, what I also did is drive the BMW motorbike R1250 RT. Jesus Christ, what a beast that is! So that is one of the coolest motorbikes I've ever driven. Holy shit! Yeah, I'll link it down below in case you guys don't know what I'm talking about. BMW RT 1250. And of course, in Thailand, that thing is like $40,000, when in reality, it should be like $26,000. Yeah, it's $27,000 in the US or other countries, and here it's $40,000 due to the import taxes. So I need those super chats, man. Otherwise, I can't drive around. All right, it's linked down below. Man, that was a great ride. Yeah, that's what she said. Okay, I got all the questions preloaded from the members. So let's get the, oh, we got about 100 people here, so that should be good enough. Let's get the disclaimer going, and then we're going to talk about some PEDs. Alrighty then. Let's see. Kenzie TV became a Vigorous crew member. You're way too pretty to join in, Kenzie. Well, you don't belong here. This is a performance enhancing drugs channel. You might have joined the wrong membership. Have you ever worked out on a macro dose of LSD? Best workouts I've ever had. No, never. No, a microdose LSD to the cinema? Hell yes. Or that was not a microdose dose, or you take like 3 microdoses or 4, and then you're like trying to keep your composure while watching a movie. But to the gym, no, man. No. I plus I drive motorbike to the gym, and I'm in Thailand, so that would not be a good idea. Obviously, they'll be fucked if they catch you. But yeah, here in other countries, going to the cinema, yeah, sure, no problem, man. No problem. I'm already getting like error messages. You see that the screen is flickering. I think there's something wrong with my cable. So if I lose connection or the screen goes blurry, just give me 2 or 3 seconds. Yeah, I think it's going on again. Okay, let me restart. 1 second. Like I just set everything up and I installed Oblivion, and I think that this computer, this laptop, is a little bit overworked. 1 second, guys. I'm getting it back. Technical difficulties. I just shouldn't touch my computer anymore. So I'm gonna do my absolute best and just use the mouse. So no, microdoses LSD to the gym. Macro doses, some are nice. And 300 micrograms. Hell yes, boy. Let's see. John Wilson asks, 37-year-old, first cycle, 16 weeks. Liver enzymes 60 units per liter. Cholesterol 7.6 nanomoles per liter. HDL 0.6 nanomoles per liter, so that's a little bit low. LDL 7.6 millimoles per liter, so that's a little bit high. Oh, that's all millimoles, sorry, not nanomoles. SHBG low. Mucobilitars volume a little bit on the high side, so it looks like dehydration to me. Platelets 510. It's also high on 170 milligrams, or 350 tests. 170 trend, 300 EQ, Anavar 30 per day, YK11 10 per day, growth hormone 5 per day. How to fix? I want to continue. This is your first cycle? It's not good, dude. Like you got this is not good. What kind of ancillaries are you using? What's your estradiol level at? It could be high, could be low. I haven't done your individual response, but I think it's time for you to go to a cruise, dude. I mean, especially when your platelets are like 510, which is 20% out of the reference range. And again, it could be due to dehydration. So next time go in for blood work and drink a lot of water. But this doesn't look good to me, man. I would pull the plug. And it could be caused by a multitude of different factors. Could be caused by platelets being elevated. Could be caused by fucking hemorrhoids. Could be caused by intestinal bleeding from gastric ulcers. Could be, I don't know, some issue or dehydration, but it doesn't look good to me. So I think it's time for you to cruise. And I saw you have a lot of follow-up questions, but I'm not going to answer them because it seems that you're not doing this correctly. First cycle should not be this. Please watch the first cycle videos. First cycle should be TRT, so you know how you respond. Now you have no idea what did what. Was it the testosterone? Was it the trend? Was it the EQ? Was it the Anavar? Was it the YK11? High dose growth hormone? How to fix? I want to continue. If I saw this blood work on myself, I would pull the plug. So take it or leave it. Lugo asks, when using even half a cc of super shredder, my heart rate goes up substantially. Yeah, welcome to the, taking salbutamol injectably. This makes getting into zone 2 very easy. I don't even break a sweat. Feels like zone 1. Should I stay in zone 2 around 125 to 135 30 beats per minute, bump it up. Yeah, you can bump it up a little bit because your body will adapt. So if you take super shredder pre-cardio, I'm assuming it's pre-cardio before the workout, then yeah, the zone 1, zone 2 is about the cardio, right? So now I would just bump it up a little bit, go to 135, 140 beats per minute, and then over time, as you keep using the super shredder more often, then and you keep doing the cardio at this intensity, then your body, your heart rate will come down, and your body will adapt, and then fat loss stays sustained. Mm, yeah, high VCC. I would not even take it before the cardio though. I'd take it before the workout. If you want to take something before cardio, just do Helios and injectable clenbuterol with yohimbine. Super shredder is more like a pre-workout. But hey, you know, it's albuterol or salbutamol and then it's monophosphate, then it's triphosphate, B12. So it's more about creating energy and vasodilation than it is about burning fat. So if you want to burn some fat, then yes, of course the albuterol is going to help, but you can also take oral albuterol and save the super shredder, which is significantly more expensive for pre-workout, where you want the vasodilation and the pumps, and then a little bit of fat loss on top of that. Joshua Perry asks, Deep Space Nine, if Garak had succeeded in using Defiant to smolderize the Founder's planet, then over 1 billion lives would have been saved in the Dominion War. Yeah, but then the Deep Space Nine would have ended at what, season 4? Was Garak doing the right thing? Yeah, of course. The Founders are fucking cunts, dude. Fuck the Founders. It should have been vaporized. Garak receiving 6 months in the brig for his behavior. No, man. Garak would have been sent to Ryza and got all the free blowjobs for the rest of his life from dudes, because Garak was gay, obviously. Right? But hey, that's Ryza. That's what Ryza is for. Although getting dusted by Worf for being a tailor must have hurt his pride. I think those blowjobs would have fixed everything. But then, yeah, Deep Space Nine would have ended at season 4 or 5, and it would have been a shame. So I'm happy he didn't go through with it. Otherwise, we would have a lot shorter Deep Space Nine on air. John Wilson asks, coming off of a first blast, you just first said it's your first cycle, now it's your first blast. What is going on? For the second blast, starting at the same doses. Well, you need to figure out why your blood work is so fucked up, and then slowly or titrate back up. You need to start low, build your way up. Because if you go to a cruise to clean out, you go to 300, 600, let's say close to a gram of gear. That's a bit of a jump. Skull asks, Big Steve, what would your endurance PD tier list consist of? PS, Legends of the Dark King Blu-ray releases April 25th for the Fist of the North Star for the 40th edition. I think I watched it already, the Dark King series. Yeah, I'll have a look at it. I think I watched it already. Probably the Japanese dub with the English, the yellow English subtitles. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I watched it already. This is pretty cool, but not as good as the original series or that 3-parter original video animation, the OVA. This one was interesting. But I like the old school one a lot more, because that's hardcore Kenshiro, man. Yeah. Omae wa mo shinderu. Big Steve, what's the endurance PD consist of? Endurance PD tier list consists of, off the top of my head, I would only going to recommend Ester, EPO, ITPP, prometamine, or what is it called? Fuck, man, I can't even remember half these things off the top of my head. Uh, EPO, myonosyl tripyrophosphate, and I can't even remember. You're stumping me here, Mel. You know what? Remind me again next week, and then I'll go through the video real quick, because my brain is fried today. It's been a long day. Too much Oblivion. I'm not even gonna answer this. Adrian Town Fitness, the guy who got me this shirt, the Vigorous crew. Look at that shit. Oversized, but hey, it's something to grow into. Hey, Steve, just want to say that it was awesome to meet you and Nan. I really appreciate you taking the time, man. For you, anytime, man. I mean, I know you're such a long time, so Don't mention it. Lava next time around. Yes, for sure, we're going to lava, but bill on me. Just one question regarding insulin during a fat loss phase. After reading your insulin ebook, I see that 5 to 10 IU's Lantus can be used in the morning upon waking, together with Humalog pre-fasted cardio. I'm wondering, how does the Lantus help during this fat loss phase? It's very interesting. Is it to maintain one's fullness? Yeah, so you're basically at a low dose Lantus of 5 to 10 IUs. Again, start low, build your way up, guys. And keep in mind, Adrian Tunn is a hardcore bodybuilder in his 50s that has been competing in bodybuilding for a very long time. Very advanced, very muscular, very lean. Don't do what Adrian does, and don't do what I'm going to recommend for him exclusively individually. Because I know that he knows his shit. He's very regimented. For most guys, this is just not a protocol that you're going to do. 5 to 10 IUs of Lantus upon waking. Humalog, 1 to 2 IUs intramuscularly pre-fasted cardio to drop glycogen, or dump glycogen basically through glucagon release. So first you go hypoglycemic during fasted cardio. Due to hypoglycemia, you dump glucagon in the body, and then the glucagon dumps, glycogen stored in the liver through glycogenolysis, so to raise your blood glucose levels. And then it also dumps triglycerides from adipose tissue, and then you get a little bit of these, the glycerol backbone from the adipose tissue converts into glucose through gluconeogenesis in the liver. So the liver has two pathways of glucose. One is from the glycogen that's stored in there, and then one is from the glycerol backbone from adipose tissue. And then because you're taking insulin, a long-acting and a short-acting, basically all of your metabolically active tissues are open, most notably skeletal muscle, and then it can absorb all of that. Now, if you take 5 to 10 IUs of Lantus upon waking, that's literally quarter IU to half an IU per hour, basically over the day, or even less. It's negligible. It's just enough to open it up, but not enough to send a negative feedback for fat storage and make yohimbine or ribosine or glucagon ineffective. And then the Humalog, of course, you take pre-fasted cardio intramuscularly, so it works within 15 minutes, and or 10 minutes even. And it also metabolizes kind of fast. And if it's only 1 to 2 IUs, basically not even worth the insulin syringe, but it's like a tiny drop, but it works really, really fast. And then you get this glucagon dump. So first you go hypo, then you get this glucagon dump, and you basically do cardio for as long as you need for your blood glucose levels to kind of stabilize. Adrian, make sure that you have obviously some Gatorade and stand by, because, well, for you don't have so much body fat. So you might not be able to do the Humalog even, and just rely on the Lantus to open everything up. Because if you have low amounts of body fat, then there's not so much glycerol backbone and adipose tissue to dump into the bloodstream to keep everything going. So that might be risky, but I know that you have glucagon injections as well. So I would rather do the glucagon and Lantus instead of Lantus and Humalog. Might be too much. Knox asks, what's your take on Pfizer new Ngenla once weekly GH? I would still inject it every single day, because Chase Irons already did a very extensive experiment, and it was showing that even if he did an entire pen one day, a couple days later, serum growth hormone levels already started to taper. So I allegedly got some Ngenla on the way, and after this Follistatin experiment concludes, I'll run Ngenla at 6 milligrams per day, which is approximately, based on a molecular weight, comparing Ngenla to regular somatropin growth hormone. 6 milligrams was approximately 10 IUs of growth hormone, discounting for the hCG subunit, which is attached, extending the half-life or the active life. Any idea about the dosing compared to regular GH? I'll discuss that in a deep dive. So 6 milligrams is approximately 10 IUs. For post-surgery recovery, yeah, so you would, if you want to have 2 IUs of growth hormone, you would need 1/5, so that's 1.2 milligrams. Is that correct? Yeah, 1.2 milligrams in Ngenla to get about 2 IUs growth hormone. Otherwise, being natty, what's the maximum amount of GH that makes sense? If you're natty but you're recovering from surgery, I would do an equivalent of 2 IUs growth hormone. Or you take MK677, man. You get an equivalent of 2 to 3 IUs growth hormone as well, but it makes you hungry as fuck. So I'll run that experiment, and then I'll have an opinion on it. I'll check my hemoglobin A1C levels, my HOMA IR score, my fasting insulin levels. I'll check my blood glucose levels throughout the week. And then I'll run that for a month at 10 IUs per day because it's been months since I ran growth hormone and I'm getting kind of skinny now. Not really, but don't sauce the fuck up. And actually also asks, are there any downsides of mixing BPC 157 and TB 500 and possibly GHK copper? No, you can mix all of that, but I would do separate injections unless it already comes pre-mixed. I know MA has a BPC 157 and TB 500 formula and even a BPC 157, TB 500 and GHK formula, but that might be oral tablets, not injectable. Don't know off the top of my head. So if it's pre-mixed, it comes like that from the Chinese peptide manufacturers, and then it should be okay. But if you get them separately, then some of the binders or the preservatives might denature the other one's peptide. So if you draw, let's say, 1 milligram BPC 157 and then you draw 1 milligram TB 500 or GHK copper, then it turns cloudy white because you're literally denaturing the peptides with one of the binders or preservatives, and one of the peptides are now basically being torn apart. So I always did separate injections. When I was recovering from the gyno surgery, I would just do BPC 157, TB 500 in the morning, 500 micrograms, and then TB 500 the other way around, right? And there's a GHK copper somewhere because it goes systemic anyway. So yeah, I would just rotate. And then take the growth hormone, obviously. All right, that YK11 booty. Yeah, that's the problem, man. Well, luckily everything is stable now. Fingers crossed. Let's see how long it will take. Looking vital as fuck. What are your thoughts on tests? Cypionate every other day administrations versus 2 times a week? It's a bit of a newbie question. Huh? Yeah, go for it. The more you inject, the more stable your levels are going to be. Sean C, 5-amino-1-MQ, nicotinamide mononucleotides. No, N-methyltransferase. N-methyltransferase inhibitor update. What was it? NNMT? Nicotine N-methyltransferase. Forgot what it stood for. All right. Broke the stall, went from 275 pounds to 257 pounds in 4 weeks. Not bad for how long I was floating around. 275 pounds, 5-amino-1-MQ was a game changer. Yeah. So if you notice that 5-amino-1-MQ was a game changer, then you're probably deficient in NAD+. And then I think adding in maybe some injectable NAD+, or a nicotinamide mononucleotide to increase your NAD+ levels, or nicotinamide riboside. You have to experiment with both. Some people respond better to NR compared to NMN. So just buy a bottle of both and see which one gives you the best results. At your body weight, I would go with 1,000 milligrams of each. Run that for a bottle and then switch to the other ones, and then let us know what gave you better results while keeping the 5-amino-1-MQ in. So, and then retrotitis, I mean, some mitochondrial support aids will probably keep everything going nice and dandy. Let's see. I'm loving Oblivion. Oni Ross's live stream gaming channel. Don't have time for that, man. Nobody's going to watch it. You're here for the drug questions. Kaleem Haider, I'm on 550 milligrams testosterone, 350 milligrams EQ, eating a lot of food but not gaining. Blood work is all good. My body weight is 68 kilos, 12% body fat. Shall I add insulin and how much? You're probably not eating enough food. So how much food are you really eating, Kaleem? And if you're eating 5,000 calories, you want to add in some insulin, sure. But at 68 kilos, you're probably not eating enough. You probably think you're eating a lot, but you're probably not eating enough. And, I would rather look into growth hormone first, because you're at 12% body fat. Adding in the insulin is going to jump you to 15, 20% body fat. But the growth hormone might actually keep you leaner. Now, growth hormone obviously is more expensive than insulin, but that will be the first thing to look into. And go check your serum estradiol levels, because if you say your blood work is all good, your lipids are not good, your liver enzymes are probably not good, your estradiol is probably not good. So, you said it so confidently, but I highly doubt it. What's your hemoglobin A1C at? 4.7? If you're eating a lot of food, it's probably 5.5. So there's 12 weeks. Yeah, or your gear is fake, bro. That happens also. How much food are you eating? Let us know. My gear is top notch. So your blood work is great and your gear is top notch. Okay, then you're not eating enough, bro. Eat more fucking food. Stop being a pussy. Hey Steve, those beach resorts are a blast. I have some fun memories there. I wish I didn't have. Oh yeah, so you otherwise you feel horrible not being in Bali on those beach resorts and beach clubs. Wanted to ask you if there's any other way to reduce hematocrit levels on cycle other than donating blood. So if you look into nattokinase, serrapeptase, and lumbrokinase, one tablet of each. I forgot what the dosage ranges are, but if you go with Doctor's Best, I think they have nattokinase and serrapeptase, and another brand has lumbrokinase. You can get that on iHerb. Get yourself the one with the best reviews. You run one tablet of each morning and evening, so that's two times nattokinase, two times serrapeptase, and two times lumbrokinase, and then within a month your hematocrit levels are lower. Now, will it be in range? Maybe. Depends on how high they are now, and if you go in hydrated for your blood work. IP6 will inhibit iron absorption, but you need iron for neurotransmitter synthesis and other bodily functions, so don't drop your iron levels too low. What was the other one? You don't want to donate blood, right? I mean, methylene blue at higher dosages is known to lower hematocrit, but at lower dosages, what we generally recommend, 5 to 10 milligrams, it might increase erythropoiesis. So you figure out what is causing the erythropoiesis, elevating your blood, your hematocrit. Sleep apnea, boldenone, anadrol, low dose methylene blue, EPO, that kind of stuff. And then if nattokinase, lumbrokinase, and serrapeptase, and maybe IP6 and whatever can't bring it down, then you have to remove whatever is causing it to go up. So you might have to adjust it on both ends. But it's a Zeus. Steve, the pina colada was delicious. Hopefully you can make it to the Olympic this year and we can have a drink in person. Already purchased my silver VIP tickets. Oh, nice. Are they already on sale? Like, I'm not sure, guys. I'm not sure if I can make it because a week away from my daughter is a long time. I'll probably miss a lot. And what I'm really afraid of is that if I go to the Olympia, it's very likely I'll catch something, which happens every year. Right, last year I was already sick when I came to the Olympia, so I didn't catch anything. It's just fucking drained. So I had a little bit of a common cold. Luckily, I was over it by the time the Olympia hit, and then everybody else caught it. Maybe I gave my cold to everybody else, but I know a lot of people were fucked up at the Olympia or afterwards. Like Chase was fucked for months. I know Paul was fucked for a while, and then again it happened after the Arnold Classic. So it's a bit of a cesspool to go there, and you're meeting a lot of people, shaking a lot of hands. You can't always wash your hands. So what I'm really worried about is going there, missing a week of my daughter's life, and then needing to stay in a hotel for a week to get over the sickness because my daughter will be very, very young at the time and the immune system isn't so good. So I might have to, it's very likely that I'm going to skip it. And if I go, it's like last minute. So that's the stance of me now. I've been there 3 times already. I had a blast every single time, but there's a little bit bigger picture going on right now. So I have to, think about these things. Unfortunately, those days of like irresponsible behavior are behind me. Largely, not 100%. I'm gonna buy a fucking BMW R1250 RT with a license and insurance, guys. But man, that thing's a beast. But yeah, if I come, you'll see it on the story that I'm on my way. Just don't count on it. It's very unlikely that that'll come. Nobi here, currently on 250 or 240 milligrams testosterone antitide per week, feeling good, seeing gains, and libido is great. So Stronka's shell is doing great, but this guy is running 3 times the amount and nothing is happening. What's going on? Maybe Kaleem, maybe you should get your gear from Stronka shell. Let's see. Thoughts on adding 5 milligrams anavar per day? Any potential impact on estradiol or libido? No and no. It will only affect your liver enzymes slightly at 5 milligrams per day in your lipids, and your SHBG might come down. Now, on 240 milligrams of testosterone, if your libido is good and you're seeing gains and you're feeling great, your estradiol is probably a little bit on the high side. Bring your SHBG down might increase your estradiol more, but it might also, because freeing up more testosterone, which might be good or bad for your libido. So downstream, it might happen. But if you keep doing your blood work, Again, 5 milligrams Anavar per day is like 35 milligrams per week. It's in the bigger picture, you're still below 300 milligrams steroids per week. So lipids might change a little bit. SHBG might come down a little bit. Estradiol might come up a little bit. But that's not a direct effect of the Anavar. That's like an indirect effect by freeing up more testosterone, which can now aromatize into estradiol, which might be beneficial for your libido. And you know, if you're on 240 tests and your estradiol is favorable, then your SHBG is probably not too low. And you have some wiggle room, you know. So don't. I wouldn't expect any deleterious effects besides some better contractions in the gym and making some more gains. Are there any other places that sell? Yeah, this is not a source board, guys. Mitchell, come on. TriggerSteve.com, go check there. Yes, please, on the Ngenla deep dive soon. If the chat wants to see it, let's see. Did we get any more votes? Yeah, Ngenla's still in the lead, bro. Well, it's very likely that we're going to. Very likely that we're going to do the Ngenla deep dive. Getting my blood work done. What's the best way to take growth hormone to know how strong it is? It's Chinese brands. You said something about IV injections. Yeah, I would only do pharmaceutical grade growth hormone IV. So with a Chinese brand, 10 IUs intramuscularly into the delt. That seems to have the best absorption. Ideally, 2.5 hours before you draw blood. 10 IUs, 2.5 hours before you draw blood in the delt should give you approximately 32 to 36 nanograms per milliliter on your serum growth hormone test. And, you know, if you do it 2 IUs IV, it should be over 80, 100, 120 milligrams per nanograms per milliliter. But with Chinese generics, the purity, potency, I wouldn't do it. I've never done Chinese generics IV, man. The only things I do IV is pharmaceutical stuff. So whether that's cerebrolysin or glutathione or vitamin C or NAD+, that was all pharmaceutical. I would never IV a Chinese generic. So 10 IUs growth hormone into the delt. And I'll leave it there 2.5 hours before. Was Keiko O'Brien the world's wife? Fuck yeah. Yeah, I think so. She was whiny, and then she was even more whiny when she got possessed by the paw wraiths. She was very whiny. She was not hot. She was not hot. So then again, O'Brien is O'Brien, you know, he's not really a catch either. Smiley. Smiley was more of a catch than O'Brien. At least he got some shit done, you know. Funny, I streamed on Twitch and got more gaming questions while explaining estradiol control. Yeah, Twitch is a funny place, man. Welcome back. Hope the holiday was relaxing. Yeah, very relaxing. It was great. I wish I could stay there indefinitely, but this is not the way to live your life, obviously, because everything gets boring after a while. Would it be worthwhile upping growth hormone from 2 IUs to 3 IUs if you're off cycle? You'll have a little bit more fullness and perhaps a little bit more fat loss. But for those $4 to $6 if it's pharma, or $1 to $2 if it's generic, yeah, if it's generic, sure. If it's pharma, probably not. Black shirt Steve. No, it says the Vigorous crew, bro. It has a slogan. D-Brad, started 2 milliliters of cerebrolysin and it wrecked my sleep for a week. Continued. It seemed to be pulling me out of deep sleep and REM sleep. Any thoughts on this? Yeah, so that's why I mentioned in the cerebrolysin deep dive, if that happens to you, then inject it in the morning. But if that happened for a week, I have no idea why. Because the peptides in the cerebrolysin should metabolize in like 24, at most 36 hours. So it's wrecked for a week. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Maybe you have a guilty conscience. Oh shit! I injected cerebrolysin, but it was only 2 ml when Steve recommended 5 ml. Should have done 5 to 10 ml, and now I feel so guilty. Now I can't sleep. You know, it happens. And sometimes you're these kinds of disappointing thoughts ruminate, and then you can't sleep. So if it doesn't work for you, give it to somebody in need, and take your melatonin and shut the fuck up, Brad. At least that will make you fall asleep. Oh, Sean says it was 5-minute 1 MQ with 1,000 milligrams nicotinamide mononucleotide. Yeah, I was a little bit confused by your abbreviation because it's an N-methyl um, transferase in N-methyl trans. Is that the real N-methyl nicotinamide transferase? I don't know. Sorry, I'm bringing down the EQ levels around here. Yeah, I did. Now I gotta look it up, man. Fuck. NMNT inhibitor. Nicotinamide N-methyl transferase. NNMT. Man. Yeah, it's been a long day. Been a long day playing Oblivion Remastered. Let's see. Noah Zander, tips to reduce facial flushing on steroids. Never heard that happening. I'm on 120 milligrams testosterone, anti-estrogen, blood pressure are good. Over a healthy lifestyle, donating blood didn't help. The only way I would think that that happens is if you're injecting synthetic carrier oils, because testosterone is not a vasodilating compound. If you're injecting synthetic carrier oils, then right after injection for the next 2 hours, you might get an inflammatory response, resulting in some sort of facial flushing. But I've never heard that, man. Maybe go subcutaneous. If it's pharmaceutical grade, do subcutaneous daily microadministrations in the morning, and then you should be okay. Like if you get facial flushing from niacin, sure. Cialis, sure. Telmisartan or other blood pressure medication, sure. But from testosterone, unless it's a synthetic solvent, no, never heard of that before, man. How to use IGF-1 during peak week for prejudging? Never heard anybody do that either. Insulin, sure. IGF-1 LR3 in the morning of carb loading, sure. But IGF-1 DES, which only has a localized effect, I know, shoot 500 micrograms into your weaker body parts for 3 days while carb loading and see what happens. But I never heard anybody do that, so never recommended it either. But now thinking about it, 500 micrograms, so you take a 1 milligram vial and you shoot 3 vials over 3 days, split bilaterally 500 micrograms per site after your first meal before your second meal. And then you pump up and pose, and then maybe your delts will look like a fucking balloon. Hey Steve, do you use any specific coffee machine or buy pre-made coffee? Fuck, buying pre-made coffee, you crazy? I have a one of those filter holders and filters that I buy at the dollar store. I started doing this when I traveled. Steve, you always do expensive shit. No, it's not true. When I started traveling in 2010, I went to the dollar store here. Or it's like 60 bahts. It's like almost $2. Let's say $1.75. It's called Daiso. It's a Japanese brand. In Japan, I can't remember what it is. It's basically a dollar store, so everything is there the same price. And they had a coffee filter for 60 baht and coffee filters, obviously, the ones that are not bleached, so the brown ones. Right? No bleached assholes for me, please. So I got the brown coffee filters and some sort of holder. And then for $3, you're done. I got 100 of them. So that lasted me like 3 months, right? And I bought some coffee, I had a little bit of a cup, and then one of those. I also bought this, like one of those sticks that you plug in anywhere, and then it basically boils the water. But if you leave it out of the water, obviously it will set fire to your condominium. So this is like a tiny water heater, just a heating element. So you would stick that in a cup of water. I would boil the water and pour that over the coffee in the filter into the other cup. And this is how I would travel. This entire coffee set was maybe, I don't know, 200 grams or something, 300 grams. So you got to keep it light when you live out of a backpack, right? And I haven't changed since, man. I got a proper water heater now, a proper water boiler for like $25 because all that shit breaks anyway. So why go expensive when you can get good stuff for free or for cheap? And then, so yeah, with my a dollar store coffee filters and coffee filter holder, I have my favorite coffee cup I bought at Universal Studios at the Nintendo Land, so it looks like one of those boos from Super Mario World. Yeah, one of those ghosts. So that's how I have my coffee every morning. And then once in a while, I feel naughty, and then I use the French press. Yeah, and it's a bitch to clean because you have to disassemble the whole pot. Otherwise, you get all these little coffee flakes in there. So you have to disassemble it. So maybe once every month or something, I use the French press. I bought like 4 or 5 different packs of coffee in Indonesia. Oh man, so good. So good. Nando for sure. Nando, the restaurant. Back hustle also might be a slightly dumb question, but I got bad post-injection pain from switching to glutes recently. Having a blood test on Monday, any possibility of acute inflammation on how sensitive C-reactive protein? Want to eat an accurate reading. Yeah, if you have post-injection pain, CRP will be maybe 1 to 3. It will not be 29 or 28.1 like I had on epicatogen. That was insane, bro. What the fuck? That's an over-the-counter supplement. Fuck that. Mm. So now it might be slightly elevated because post-injection pain is obviously an inflammatory response, but it shouldn't be too elevated. So if you see a 5, it's probably multifactorial. If you see a 10, that's a little bit post-injection pain and a lot of other things that are going on. Excuse me. 500 test, 350 primo, 150 masteron for 16 weeks, no issues. Then added 5 milligrams tren ace, 10 milligrams tren base, and 25 milligrams anadrol, tenderness, and a pubertal gyno gland. Dropped the tren and anadrol and actually added 60 milligrams roloxifene past 14 days. Gland still tender. Estradiol 45, considering for the past 8 months continue roloxifene. Yeah, you might have to continue roloxifene because keep in mind that Trenbolone interacts with the progesterone receptor, and it doesn't matter if you take roloxifene or not, that just blocks the estrogen receptors. So it might take some time for the Trenbolone to metabolize. It might take a couple weeks. 14 days is reasonably short. And once the tissue is aggravated, it might take 2 weeks to a month to really see the inflammation go down. So anadrol allegedly interacts with the estrogen receptor. That's based on the chemical composition. I could never find any scientific evidence that shows that. I mean, I was taking anadrol recently with YK11 and my estradiol was really, really low for the cycle that I was on of test, DECA, and MENT, like 500 test, 500 DECA, and 150 MENT. And my estradiol was only 100 on 200 milligrams anadrol and 30 milligrams or 210 milligrams YK11 on top of that per week, not per day. Come on. So I might have some estradiol lowering effects from the anadrol or one of its metabolites, or the YK11 or one of its metabolites. That's why I'm doing 625 tests now, give or take, with just YK11 at 30 milligrams per day, whether that's oral, sublingual, or injectable, to see how much of a suppressive effect that has on serum estradiol levels. So in your case, serum estradiol is normal, but it doesn't matter how much roloxifene you take. The progesterone receptor activation and a potentially elevated prolactin, which you didn't mention, could still exacerbate it. And then even with roloxifene, it takes a couple of weeks to come down. So keep going, keep taking it, take the tren out, take the anadrol out, and then ride it out. And otherwise, well, I know a couple good clinics that do a gynecomastia surgery. Regarding TRT, would you go to a clinic to get everything dialed in or just self-prescribe? Just self-prescribe, man. Just self-prescribe. Unless you have difficulty sourcing, you need somebody to oversee it. All the information is out there. You just have to educate yourself. And if you don't want to educate yourself, you don't want to go through the sourcing process, then get it from a clinic. But you'll pay a markup. On the other hand, if you pay a markup, then you'll free up a lot more time. Because researching TRT and researching where to get these compounds, that takes time. So if you don't have the time, you just pay premium to have somebody else do all the research for you and provide you quality product. So there's something to say for both. I mean, I have a script for TRT. I don't even know why, and I keep extending it. But I self-prescribe, basically. My TRT script is like, what was it, 150 milligrams per week? I'm on a script for 4 people right now, right? So, and I pay blood work out of pocket, so I don't even know why the fuck I keep doing it. It's not for legal reasons. Like the steroids in Thailand is not a big deal. And every time I travel, like I travel to Bali with my shit. I travel to Dubai with my shit, to Holland. I don't travel to the US with my shit, but that's always shit waiting there for me. I mean, it's just walking to a gym like, hey, Steve, come to my house and pick what you like. So don't need to travel, with the TRT script. So I don't even know I have the script, honestly. It's just a waste of money and time. Personally, I would self-prescribe. get your shit together, do the research, and you have the power. And if you don't want to do the research, you don't know how to source, then pay somebody to empower you to get high quality product and analyze your blood work results. Right? American Health, if you live in the United States, have excellent guys to help you guide through that process, but you'll pay a premium, obviously, because there's more people involved, and everybody needs their cut. That's just business. Also, hope you had a great holiday. Yes, it was great. Stu, cats. 5 weeks into 10 milligrams anavar per day, I'm assuming. 300 milligrams enantate, 175 primo intramuscularly, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Estradiol, 40 picograms per milliliter. That's normal. Good. Testosterone nice and high, 3,400 nanograms per deciliter. SHBG low, that's to be expected on test and primo and anavar, albeit low dosages. Is it okay to go to 600 test, 350 primo if I feel like I have an over-response to primo? Is that a thing? I feel I have an over-response to primo. Could be. I mean, there's only one way to find out, right? And if you're scared, you go to 450 test and 225 primo first. Give that 6 weeks. See how your estradiol burns, because now you're basically doubling it. And doubling might not be required. Maybe you go to 450 test and 225 primo and keep the anavar in at 70 milligrams or go to 15 milligrams per day if liver enzymes and lipids are okay. SHBG will be single digits lower. Right? It will be 4 or 5. There's no way around it, man. Just no way around it unless you go to a ketogenic diet and you remove all the carbs and then you reduce the insulin release and then your SHBG can come up a little bit. People always ask me, Steve, why is your SHBG so high? Because you don't eat any carbs. And growth hormone and insulin lower SHBG also. Thyroid hormones increase SHBG. But if you eat a boatload of carbs and you have a lot of insulin release, then yeah, SHBG is going to be low as well. A lot of things affected, man. I have a deep dive on it. Second question from this guy. Hey Steve, just a regular guy that enjoys his life, the sport, training, and feeling good. Is there a test level when it becomes unhealthy, or is that only a matter if everything else stays in range? I think it's more a test level depends on your age. So if you're reasonably young and resilient and active, and you live a lifestyle, you do cardio, you take the prophylactic ancillaries, and you eat healthy, then I think a test level of 3,500 is pretty sustainable with outskirts to 5,000 or 3,500 to 5,000. I think that's pretty doable. But, it really depends on how you manage everything else. Like, if you don't drink alcohol, you don't take recreational drugs, that kind of stuff, right? But so my testosterone levels are over 3,500. It's undetectably high because my range only goes up to 3,500. And, okay, I drink on holiday. But I do my blood work every month and I do my organ imaging frequently. I eat super fucking healthy unless I'm on holiday. So on holiday I was misbehaving. Okay, whoop de fucking do. It's 1 week out of many that I followed the lifestyle. So sometimes you have these outskirts and then you fuck up a little bit and then you need to overcompensate by just following the program again. But I think as you get older, your testosterone levels need to go down because your metabolism goes down. You're less resilient to the drugs. Your blood pressure might change, and then you need to manage that more. So as you get older, your levels go down, which happens naturally also. It's like, just listen to your body. Okay, instead of having a testosterone of 200, maybe you have 600 nanograms per deciliter, 3 times higher than you would have naturally. But I think it's just a normal part of life that you let your testosterone levels decline. Now, when should I start leveling my testosterone levels off? As long as I feel good and my blood work looks good and I don't have any complications, then I'm feeling fine with a testosterone anywhere between, let's say, 1,000 to 3,500 without certain periods where it goes to maybe 5,000 or 10,000 even. Yeah, but that's me, right? That's my risk assessment. Hello, Steve. Is there anything you can use to dissolve internal cysts? I have no idea. Okay, guys, I'm not a doctor. I know you guys like to ask me questions that you should be asking the doctor, but a cyst, I don't know how that's related to diet or performance enhancing drugs. And if it's related to those subjects or training, then yes, I'm your guy. But this, I don't know, man. If it's an internal cyst, where? In the intestinal tract? In the liver? In the brain? Or subcutaneously where you can actually have it cut out, right? I don't know, dude. Ask the doctor, please. Just ask the doctor. That's what they're there for. ways to improve circulation in lower legs. I don't know, the hypoxia training releases vascular endothelial growth factor, so you need to do high reps with occlusion training. So you need to occlude your calves, and then do high rep stuff to the point it hurts, and then you might get some vascular endothelial growth factor or other angiogenesis promoting peptides being released, which you can then heighten or not heighten, you can enhance by taking TB500, BPC-157, or going into the hyperbaric chamber that helps you release growth factors. But will it make a difference on muscle growth? Maybe not. Jordan, it's so weird. It's so weird. I tune in to you literally answering somebody's question of what just happened to me. Yeah, you know, same shit happens to the same different people. But if you tune in long enough, I've probably answered every single question that there is to be answered for my expertise already, and it's just the more of the same. The Mike Freeman just popping in to say, big it up all the 40-year-old dudes who stay jacked and stay lean at this stage of their life. Stay strong, yeah. Because when I was in Bali, dude, I mean, okay, I look good, right? I look good. From a bodybuilding perspective, fitness, I have a respectable physique. I'm not insane. I'm not fucking shredded. I have some weaker body parts and some stronger body parts. But I was lean, I was mean, and I looked jacked. Looked fucking jacked, especially after a couple of glasses of sangria, where your veins start to pop from the red wine. Dude, I had veins all over my body leading into my dick. And it was great. And then you see these 25 to 50 years old at the beach club, men. They look like trash. They look like fucking trash. It's bad when a bodybuilder walks into a beach club and he has the best physique without really trying super hard. You know, it's not good. It's not. I don't know what general population does to themselves. It's a bit of a shame because everybody can go to the gym. Like if you go to the gyms, right? Obviously, everybody's in shape, right? So I went to Obsidian, everybody's in shape. I went to Undefeated Gym. The two people that were there were in shape. It's a private gym, so not too many people. Body Fat Factory, everybody was in shape. But then as soon as you get out of the gyms, you go somewhere else, and it's the same in Thailand, man. People take so terrible care of themselves. Why? Why? It's so weird. Like you go to the gym, everybody's fucking peeled, shredded, vascular, looking good. You know, get a little bit of ego with them, obviously. But hey, you put in the work, you can have a little bit of an ego because you know, you get the results, right? And then you see general population, like fuck, man, fuck, you guys doing to yourself? What the fuck? And then of course you walk into the beach, like you walk into Finn's, and then you feel the whole club just fucking I fucking you everywhere you go. And then you go to the bathroom and the whole club is, and it's not the Boldenone or the Trenbolone. I'm super fucking chill, right? So you see these people looking like, hey, what's up? Like, yeah, you look good. Hey, what's up? Yeah, you look good. Or they're like, he's injecting. Yeah, no shit. No shit. The cool thing about Finn's is that, going off topic now, the cool thing about Finn's Beach Club in Bali is that the security, they all work out. They're huge. The Simone huge. They're a little bit chunky, but huge nonetheless. They eat at the warung too often, I guess, or they eat a lot of warung food and it's to give me all the protein. Warung is basically like an open buffet where you just pick and choose and then you get a lot of protein, a lot of vegetables and a lot of rice, and they eat that like 6 times per day. So these guys were pretty fucking big. So I was fucking plastered, obviously, walking like that from drinking a whole bottle of sangria by myself. And then they wanted to take pictures with me. So there must be somewhere online on the internet, on Facebook or Instagram. But those guys were super chill, man. Yeah, they worked out. So at Finn's Beach Club, I worked out and the security worked out, but nobody else. They were just there looking a little bit sloppy. Beach seals. It's a shame, though. I mean, everybody can go to the gym, man. It's a shame. I think a lot of people can look good if they're just willing to try, especially at 40 years old. It's not difficult. Just have to go to the gym. All right. Sorry for the rant. Thoughts on MPP for non-onion fractures based on the animal studies? Uh, okay, it helps with bone mineralization, but I would I would rather just stick with the vitamin D3, vitamin K, and calcium cocktail, which I discuss in the recovery video after my gyno surgery and my leg surgery, because most steroids potentiate bone mineralization, and even the selective estrogen receptor modulators do that, or having your estradiol level elevated. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I get my estradiol levels elevated. Nandrolone was shown to promote bone mineralization in the absence of estradiol. So what happens if you have nandrolone and estradiol, or just estradiol by itself? Just rely on estradiol, man, and a healthy diet. 150 MPP, 400 tests, 5 years growth hormone, X-ray showed growth compared to none before. Good bloods. Yeah, so if it's working, obviously keep going. But if you're doing 400 tests and 500 IOs growth hormone and your estradiol is reasonably high, then nandrolone at this dose is just an added benefit, but not the sole root cause. The same as being on growth hormone and TB500, the BPC 157, and GHK copper. Like, what is doing what? It's a synergy stack. You leverage every fucking option for bone mineralization, you know? All right. Okay. Going through all the member questions, so let's do a couple one. Recommendation for a peak week for the beach. Come on, bro. You should be 1 to 4 weeks at the best looking you can without hurting yourself, assuming you have a stocked cabinet with all the major. So this is the wrong way to approach it. Honestly, Texas Ace, this is the wrong way to approach it, because if you go to the beach, you'll be the best looking guy regardless if you peak or not. I mean, I just kept with my cycle. I just kept dieting. I try to eat as healthy as possible. You don't need to peak at the beach because everybody there doesn't give a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck there, dude. If you want to get good pictures, take a diuretic and take your pictures, and that's it. You know, assuming you have a stocked cabinet, you just need to be lean. You don't need to peak for the beach. Fuck all the people there. They'll look at you and point fingers and say that you're on steroids. So you don't need to look good for them. And if you want to look good for your pictures, don't drink water that day, and then you'll dry out. I was drinking fucking alcohol the whole day, and I dried out. I had veins everywhere. It was great. I didn't peak for that. I just went to the beach club and ordered beef rendang and I don't know, some spring rolls and a whole bottle of fucking sangria, and I slurped that down over the course of 4 hours, and I was fucking peeled. My face was red from all the wine. All right. Fuck, man. You go to the beach to relax. Fuck peaking for the beach, dude. Nobody gives a shit. I didn't give a shit either. I was there to just have a good time. Smoking 4 to 5 cigarettes a week for the increased testosterone, feeling full on beast mode so far. Would recommend discipline scheme. Somebody watched the smoking boost testosterone video. Hey, if it works, man. No matter how much I watch this guy, I learn something new every time. Not sure if you learned something this live stream, man. I just babble for 2 hours, and then people seem happy or disappointed. But usually the people that are disappointed, they complain and then they get banned, or they just unsubscribe and don't come back. Either way, it's fine. Steve, what's the best natural protocol to boost testosterone on 2025? Sleep. Sleep, 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 sleep. Sleep, 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 low stress. Sleep, low stress, sleep, 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 low stress. It's that it. And the rest just adds 5% more to your testosterone. So if you want to use an over-the-counter test booster with Tonkat Ali, Fredogia, Agressus, zinc, vitamin D3, carnitine, taurine, selenium, magnesium. I have a video on this. I just type in OTC test boosters and it's linked. But sleep and low stress, that is the way to do it. And hey, man, human chorionic gonadotropin is bioidentical in men, albeit in trace amounts. But that's the best way to boost it, dude. That's a real testosterone booster right there. What's the least somebody was? You don't want to know, dude. What's the least somebody has to spend to be coached by you to do their first cycle? You can get it for free, and could he get all you need? Yeah, you can get everything for free. I have an article on my website, how to do your first cycle and how to do blood work. And literally everything is on this YouTube channel for me. So you don't need to do, if you still can piece it together, do a 20-minute consultation. But a 20-minute consultation is $1,000. It's a fuckload of money, man. Or you do like a 10 to 20 minute email conference that's maybe $400 to $800, a little bit cheaper. But dude, you can piece everything together on this YouTube channel. Or otherwise hire a fucking coach to guide you through it. For $300, you can get a decent coach. My consultation rates is high because I get a boatload of them, and it's a lot more complicated questions than you're asking. Like particular protocols for endurance sports, or resolving long-term libido issues, or penis enhancement protocols, like this kind of stuff. But for first cycle, dude, you can literally piece it together on the YouTube channel. That information is here for free. You don't need to pay me. If you really can't piece it together, then do an email consultation where you write everything down of what you think. I'll read it for 10 minutes and then I'll give you my blessing. And even that's $400. My time is valuable, very valuable, because I have limited time. So ask Dean, ask Kurt. They'll probably offer you a lower rate because they're not as busy yet. But yeah, or ask any coach. They can get you through the first cycle. Just go with a guy that you respect and can afford, because I'm kind of expensive. And first cycle, I mean, I honestly feel guilty taking your money because the information is there for free, dude. It's fucking easy to piece it together. Just type in first cycle, you get like 5 videos. My first cycle, what I did, how I coach clients through my first cycle, things to consider before first cycle, blood work before first cycle, and then maybe 3 or 4 more videos. All you need to do is sit through it and take notes, and then buy from reputable sources. Jesus Christ, some newbie questions in here. Unbelievable. Opinions on Oxybol and Nandrolone. It works. Ask again and you're out of here. I've seen this question 3 times already. It's the least interesting question that I've seen in the chat. Wait for the Nandrolone deep dive and shut the fuck up, Crystal. Please stop spamming. You're not special. And Oxybolone, Nandrolone, nobody gives a shit. Team made me lose my voice. What about Oxybolone? Nobody gives a shit. Hey, Steve, what is the easy way to get a hair-safe peptide you suggest to add 16 weeks? What is the easy way to get hair-safe peptide you suggest to add? All peptides are hair-safe, man. Well, allegedly, cerebrolysine is not hair-safe because it increases brain-derived neurotropic factor. So if you're worried about brain-derived neurotropic factor having an effect on hair loss, then Somax is off the menu, Solank is off the menu, Dihexa off the menu, Nupept, cerebrolysine, Cortexin, etc., etc., etc. Right? We'll work on the BDNF deep dive at one point, and I'll mention it there. I won't forget this time. But all other peptides are hair safe, man. GHK-Cu, good for your hair. TB500, BBC157, allegedly good for your hair through angiogenesis, microcirculation, and obviously, lowering inflammation and promoting growth of tissue. Growth hormone, good for your hair. Insulin, probably good for your hair. KPV, it's probably all good, man. Anything that increases brain-derived neurotropic factor, probably not good. But even then, you want to be smarter but bald? It works for me, bro. Bill Catch, I'm sorry, dude, but these questions are bannable. See you later. I don't do fucking hype protocols. Yeah, but I didn't. Yeah, now you know. Make a new account. Hype protocols are banned here. Go to irresponsible educators for your hype protocol. I don't even want to discuss it if it's in the past. It's your fucking problem. Hey, bro, I was in a big car accident in Canada. Ended up with a high-grade AC separation healthcare system. Sucks here. Can you recommend a hospital in Bangkok to get it fixed? Any kind of private hospital will be able to help you, but I would contact them well in advance. So you got Bangkok Hospital is good. Samitivay Hospital is good. Boomerang is good, but it's a little bit overpriced compared to the other one, so I would not go there. Sirirad Hospital is good. It's semi-private, so the queues are a little bit longer because that's where general population goes as well. So it's Bangkok, Samitivay, Sirirad. I think those are the best. Yeah, I think those three are best. So again, Bangkok, Sumiti, there's three of them, and Sirat, there's one of them. That's where the royal family goes. So contact them, see what they can do. Send them your imaging and your previous blood work results and your diagnoses and all those results. Send them, ask them for a code, and then go with the best deal, right? But they have many doctors. They have, you can ask them to refer you to the best doctor for your particular case. And then once you're here, I'll hook you up with my peptides, company, compounding pharmacy here, so you can get all the peptides in without ordering those online. Or you can order them online. It goes through, no problem. And then if you do surgery here or something invasive, then well, the peptides and the GH and all that stuff is ready for you. I know a place. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I learned I need to double my cigarette consumption to increase testosterone. Yeah. Or you could just double your testosterone. This is a different kind of cigarettes, Joshua. But this is the best kinds. This is the best number. This is my lucky number. When your wife is pregnant, this is basically the last number you can do. Oh, man. Oh, man. Thanks for the Methylene Blue, SLUPP332, and Richard research. I've lost over 65 pounds over the last year and back to my college weight at 47 years old. So please go tell this to John Jewett and Scientific Snitch that you're getting great results. Not hating. Now, John Jewett is a great guy. Scientific Snitch, this doesn't seem like she's a respected person of this community. John Jewett is, but I saw a post about optimizing mitochondrial function and he had his doubts. But hey, the anecdotal reports are plenty, and we're happy to hear it. First time I've noticed Steve has green eyes. They're either green, blue, or gray, depending on the color correction and the weather. I've made it in life when I can afford Coach Steve to coach me. All joking aside, info you need is on here. When I started researching, I averaged a Steve video a day during fasted cardio. This is the way to do it, man. I mean, all the information, everything I know is on this YouTube channel. You really don't need a consultation with me. But if you can't piece it together with YouTube, or you have your doubts, or just want to run something past me, then yes, that's what the personalized advice is there for. And I have such a catalog of customers that it's just continuous, So that's why the rates are so high. And again, there's plenty of other knowledgeable guys that are more affordable. So please go with those. If you see my rates, you're like, fuck, then just go somewhere else. It's a free market. It's a free market. Kurt and Dean are excellent guys to do consultations with. They're very, very smart. They're a lot more affordable for now. So if you have a question about a first cycle, just contact them and see what they charge, and then if that's more affordable or more reasonable, then go with them. So, and otherwise, dude, everything I know is on this YouTube channel. Literally everything. I don't hold back. And maybe a couple of protocols, but that's like high level shit that I'll discuss with you when I see that you're a fucking freaky bodybuilder, and then I'll discuss it for free during the gym because I'm so passionate about that. That's what I learned when I was, when I was coaching people. But I mean, it's too risky. Talking about injectable Lasix and that kind of stuff, and vasodilators, and it's risky. You don't talk about that publicly because people are fucking dumb and will hurt themselves, and then it's my fault. I didn't administer it to you, So just watch the videos, man. It's all there for free. Is there a maximum amount of time you can stay on hCG monotherapy? I've watched your video, but I don't think you mentioned it. No, you can just stay on that indefinitely. I know guys that I recommended it to them, and they've been on that for like 3, 4, 5 years, or last time I checked. And then they just stick with, Merck Ovitrol. Run like 500 IOs 3 times a week, and they're totally fine. Are their HPTA is impaired? Yeah, of course, because you're shutting down the FSH and LH signal, but their spermatogenesis and their semen parameters absolutely stellar. I was on hCG monotherapy an entire year last year, or 2 years to 1 year ago, give or take, and it didn't stop working. But my testosterone was only 800 to 900. It was not enough for what I wanted out of life. Not enough for the pumps. Not even enough for 69. Not enough for fertility parameters, though. Yeah, it was enough. But yeah, again, I can't give you a hard duration because everybody's different, right? Take it as long as you can afford it, and you get results. And then say, yeah, you can run it for 12 years. And then again, it's my fault for saying 12 years, and they fucked themselves somehow. He said they could run it for 12 years. I remember when I said that women can take 2.5 milligrams Anavar year round, and then people lost their shit. All the proof is in the pudding, man. The proof is in the pudding. My wife still looks like a fucking woman, was able to get pregnant and won everything. So, but hey, if you don't want to use one everything, then just cycle through it and run 30 milligrams for 6 weeks. It's your fucking problem. I want to have more kids, but I'm thinking about hopping on a blasting cruise. Is it best to freeze kids in the sperm? Yes, you can't freeze kids in the bank before then and recover later. I heard people fall in depression after stopping. Yeah, I wasn't feeling too great either. So if your fertility parameters are good now, do a couple semen analysis, split those semen samples up to maybe 50 million per frozen sample. And then you freeze like, I don't know, 10. I think I got 10 frozen of 100 milliliters or 100 million each. And that's more than enough to do a couple rounds of IVF or a couple rounds of intrauterine insemination. Because with 100 million, even though some of them obviously are destroyed in the freezing process, if you do intrauterine insemination, where they basically just inject the sperm into your girlfriend's or wife's vajayjay, uterus, then with 100 million, that's more than enough, man. That's more than the minimum requirement for the World Health Organization. And they centrifuge it, and then they remove the waste products, and then so that you don't get some sort of adverse reaction in the uterus or vagina. So freeze 10 samples of 50 million to 100 million sperm, and then blast your socks off, man. Yeah, blast your fucking socks off, and it's what, $30 per sample per year, so that's $300 per year. So you don't have to go through a fertility process again, which is significantly more expensive. Fuck, man, I spent thousands. SH ain't cheap, bro. Do you stack cagrilinotide and retrotrutide for cutting? I've never stacked both. I've never took cagrilinotide myself. I might experiment with that at one point, but again, I have experiments to do where I can't use anything else, otherwise you guys complain. So it's on the to-do list. I've never stacked it together, and the people that I know stacked it together said they have no appetite, and they actually feel nauseous. So it's a little bit too potent of a combination, but is it possible? Sure, it goes through different receptors. The retrotrutide activates the GIP, GLP-1, and glucagon receptor, and cagrilinotide activates the amylin receptor. So you got four receptors that you're activating and blunting your appetite through. Well, glucagon doesn't really blunt the appetite, but GIP and GLP-1 blunts the appetite. So you have three receptors where appetite suppression is in play. Here, running hCG for 12 years. I struggled. Oh. Yeah, I struggle to walk with my balls being that big for so many years. Yeah, I'm actually happy that I stopped the hCG now because I have a lot more space in my fucking dude. When I was on hCG monotherapy, even though my legs were smaller because I lost size, obviously, my balls were fucking huge. And then every time I sat down or on the motorbike or in the cinema or anytime I sit down on anything, I literally had to fucking go in there, lift my fucking ball sack on top of my adductors because my adductors are still pretty big. Those don't really come down. Like it's a quad size that comes down, but the adductors, they stay kind of there. So it's probably from years of swimming. I used to swim a lot. I swam a lot in my younger years, just recreationally, not really competitively. So I went swimming like once or twice a week up until I was like 15 years old, and then I went to the gym. So that's the 10 years of swimming once a week, and then 25 years of bodybuilding. Yes, I was physically active since the age of 3 years old, or 5 years old. So yeah, the adductors are there, and then I literally have to lift my fucking gigantic nut sacks on top of my adductors, and that's why training adductors is so problematic. Because even now, adductors are so big, and the balls are somewhat still there, and then I literally have to grab them, hold them while I lock myself into the machine. Yeah, too graphic, but problems of being a man, man. Women will never be able to relate unless they have beef curtains, and then oh, oh, thank God for Thai women with their fucking beautiful pussies and their literally Thai women have like it's a piece of art. You just want to put your face down there. And just, oof. All right, too much details. All right, let it populate a little bit. I'm gonna take a bathroom break. Break. Be right back, and then you guys post some more questions. Seems like we're not so many people today, but that's okay. You can take an early vacation or early break. All right, and we're back. Where are we? Zavala, Steve, I got really skinny legs, skinny ankles, calves, thighs, glutes. I live for hypertrophy with little effect. What supplements? Just eat more food. Standing caloric surplus for 3 years. You will grow. Creatine is the best supplement for that. But dude, it takes time. It just takes fucking time. So if you're skinny, just eat more food and train hard. It will come, man. It just takes time. You have to be persistent. Don't give up. I mean, it took me years before I had something to show for it. So you just have to love it, fall in love with bodybuilding, and eat a lot of food, and it will come, man. Don't be frustrated. You're working on it. If getting misty eyed thinking about his wife, all you need to know. Yeah, that's not really misty eyed. I'm just laughing my ass off about things we do when the camera's off. Oh yeah. Ooh, you guys have no idea. Oh, neurosis, good bloods today. Thyroid stimulating hormone in the gutter. T4 is low. T3 uptake 37%. It's a little bit high. Free thyroxine index 1.8. Runner 200 milligrams of tren. Pretty uneducated when it comes to thyroid stuff, but I don't really know if these numbers mean, and I don't exactly look normal. Can tren impact these numbers? Yes, they can. Yeah, tren might modulate your thyroid binding globulin levels, and thus thyroid function and thyroid hormones might be all over the place. Maybe I should look into iodine and selenium. Potassium is also 5.1 millimoles per liter. Is there anything concerned about? It's a little bit on the high side. Yeah, but it could be, again, a moment in time hydration, glycogen being dumped in the bloodstream alongside with potassium. And if you're in the morning, then sometimes potassium is a little bit higher because you're dumping glycogen from the liver or skeletal muscle. No, not really skeletal muscle, but you're burning through the glycogen in skeletal muscle overnight. And then as you're burning through the glycogen, potassium is released into the bloodstream. So that's why I always hydrate myself before you go for blood work, and then you don't have these weird numbers. But yeah, a thyroid stimulating hormone of being that low, without mentioning your T3 levels, it could be that you have a lot of T4 into T3 conversion, and that's why it suppresses your TSH levels. Because if Tren lowers your thyroid binding globulin levels, freeing up more T4, converting into T3, just like lowering SHBG frees up more testosterone, converting into estradiol. And that's why your TSA levels is so low. But without a T3 in the picture, then I'm not really sure. And you can say supplementing with iodine and selenium, but your TSH is so low, probably because T3 is high, and that means you have sufficient iodine and sufficient selenium, because iodine is recycled in the body. T4 has 4 iodine atoms and T3 has 3 iodine atoms. When T4 converts into T3, you literally cleave one iodine atom away, which then becomes available to produce more T4 with. And selenium is found in the deiodinase enzymes. And if you're converting a lot of T4 into T3, suppressing your TSH, then your deiodinase enzyme activity is obviously sufficient. So again, that's assuming that your T3 levels are high. What's the best method to fix muscle imbalance? As you can see in my pic, my left pec is smaller than my right, particularly in the lower outer chest. I can't see it. You're the only one who can see it. My pecs are one smaller than the other ones. It's just different. One is wider than the other side. Nobody can see it, dude. Don't worry about it. Just keep training. Have fun with it. There's not a single person or woman in the world who's not going to fuck you because you have a small imbalance that you and only you can see. And other reasons I don't see you. Even getting on stage, if you really look at it, you're like, okay, this lat is a little bit smaller. It happens at the highest levels. There's no way around it. Maybe if you do some acupuncture or a deep tissue massage therapy or what is it? The compression, the what's it called? Whatever, where they crack your back, that might help a little bit to realign your spine, but you see it everywhere at the highest level. Jay Cutler had imbalances. Ronnie Coleman had imbalances. Phil Heath had imbalances. You're either born with it or you're born with imbalances. So don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. Otherwise, flip her upside down and just fuck her from the behind so she can't look at you. You don't have to worry about it. What would be a good stack? Be for small labrum tear, thinking about collagen. Yeah, so this question gets asked every time. And guys, I'm so sick of it. It's the same every single time. I'll post it down below from the previous video. I know I forgot it, but the protocol is just always the same. You pay $20, so I'm just gonna post it on the screen. I just can't do it anymore, man. I'm sorry, bro, but it's so repetitive. Oh, my description is too long. Huh? Okay. Health monitoring devices are out of here. All right. Here we go. No, Primo doesn't raise collagen as boldenone. Here it is. So here's the injury and surgery recovery protocol. It's just the same for everybody. So here we go. Testosterone, any ester, over 25 milligrams intramuscularly or subcutaneously upon waking daily. So that's a total of 175 milligrams intramuscularly or SubQ weekly. Can be more, but usually from this point in time, you have enough testosterone for a serum testosterone level close to the top of the reference range. Oxandrolone, 5 to 10 milligrams upon waking before bed, a total of 10 to 20 milligrams daily for collagen synthesis. Anavar beats every other steroid regarding collagen synthesis. Hands down. Nandrolone doesn't come close at the same dose. Boldenone doesn't come close at the same dose. Primobolan doesn't come close at the same dose. Testosterone doesn't come close at the same dose. An elevated serum estradiol level doesn't come close to Anavar. Anavar is the king of collagen synthesis, hands down. Combining Anavar with top of the reference range estradiol coming from your TRT with micronized progesterone, 100 milligrams to 200 milligrams before bed 3 times weekly to daily. Really helps with sleep quality and provides additional collagen synthesis to recover. Growth hormone 2 to 5 IUs before bed, depends on your budget, or 2 to 5 IUs SubQ upon waking and before bed, a total of 2 to 10 IUs daily. It really depends on your budget, the level of development, and how bad your surgery was. If you don't want to use growth hormone, 30 milligrams MK677 or whatever your favorite growth hormone secretagogue is, go with that. BPC 157, TB 500, 500 micrograms intramuscular subQ upon awakening as close to the site of injury as possible for a total of 1,000 micrograms or 1 milligram. Again, close to the site of injury. 5 milligrams GHK copper can be anywhere. It goes systemic anyway for a total of 10 milligrams daily. And sitagliptin to prevent the breakdown of TB 500 to BPC 157 because they're metabolized by the dipeptidyl peptidase 4 enzymes, and sitagliptin prevents the breakdown through these enzymes because it's a DPP4 enzyme inhibitor. 50 milligrams upon waking before bed, total 100 milligrams daily, and then you can go with collagen peptides, whether that's from Gorilla Mind or Sports Research, or whatever you prefer, which contains 90 milligrams, or the Gorilla Mind peptides contains 90 milligrams vitamin C, 120 milligrams hyaluronic acid, 12.5 or 12 and a quarter grams of collagen type 1 and 3, 80 milligrams collagen type 2 per single scoop, and then you take one scoop with meals 4 times daily. So you get the totals are on the screen. Right? So, is there more to this? Oh, there's more to this. It just got cut off. And then these micronutrients are also very important for collagen synthesis. Yeah, sorry, I sound so bored, man, but it's every single week. It's the same question. Vitamin A, vitamin C, copper, silica, and zinc. They all contribute to collagen synthesis. So again, it's linked down below. It's linked on every single YouTube video. And the answer is always the same. There is a massive amount of data on collagen synthesis, which I linked many, many times. Drew Vogel, just curious, have injectable anadrol and Superdrol. Is a bit less toxic than the oral compounds. Injectable anadrol is less toxic, but Superdrol is toxic regardless of administration route. Like all the case reports on Superdrol shows liver toxicity. 100% of the case reports on Superdrol prove liver toxicity, and if you do the injectable route, it's still liver toxic. I'm researching it now, but I want your opinion before I start. Thank you. Yeah, so anadrol, injectable anadrol, you could run for maybe 2 to 4 weeks, and injectable Superdrol maybe 1 to 3 weeks, depending on how you feel. But they're less toxic, but still toxic. But anadrol is a lot less toxic than Superdrol. But Superdrol makes you look fucking hard and dense. Optimal-ish lifting routine for manual labor who does MMA and wants to be bigger. Natty with good numbers, but gear coming back long-term soon. Push-pull legs. Low volume, high intensity, and a fuckload of food. But dude, if you do physical activity, manual labor, and MMA, and you want to be bigger, and you want the lifting routine, push-pull legs, you need to eat a fuckload of food, man. You need to eat 5,000 to 6,000 calories per day. Otherwise, you're not going to grow. And if the gear is coming back, then obviously you get some synergy there. But natty, you're just burning all that food away, and you're just making yourself tired with manual labor and MMA to put on size. So, the gear will help, obviously, but at one point you'll get stuck, regardless of how much food you eat and how much you sleep. So, your mileage might vary. Yeah, your mileage might vary. Let's see. What's the best budget stack? 1 gram of Boldenone test and adding cheap Chinese growth hormone like 60. Yeah, that would be the best option. Yeah, I think I have a video breaking that down. What's the cheapest steroids? Cheapest steroid cycle. I think cheapest steroid cycle. I have a video on that, and then I came to the conclusion that testosterone enanthate and Boldenone and andesonate at the dosages you can afford with Chinese growth hormone or MK677, that would be the cheapest option. Yeah, so that is indeed the best stack. If you're short on cash. Now, if you're going to cycle, you still need to do your blood work, you motherfucker. So you can't go cheap on that. You still need to test all the markers. You mentioned retatrutide along with empagliflozin. Can dapagliflozin be used? Yeah, so either 25 milligrams empagliflozin or 10 milligrams dapagliflozin. That's pretty much interchangeable. That's what the scientific evidence shows. I think it's 25 empagliflozin, 10 milligrams dapagliflozin regarding longevity and blood glucose management and changes to hemoglobin A1C levels. I feel that these dosages are comparable. So yeah, go with dapagliflozin if you can't find empagliflozin, but it should be 10 milligrams instead of 25 milligrams. because the dosage protocols are not the same. Push-pull leg for MMA, not up or lower. Okay, maybe you should start your own live stream, bro, and answer people's questions. You know, saves me some time, and I can just enjoy my Saturday with my wife. If you know better. That's exactly what the gear's coming back. Yeah, so if you know, push-pull legs, MMA twice a week. So push-pull legs twice a week, MMA push-pull, MMA, legs, push, MMA. So you do 2 days of training, 1 day MMA, and then you do that 6 days a week. 5 days a week of manual labor and a fuckload of food, man, and just enough gear to get by. Yeah, enough gear to get by. Let's see. Guess everybody is doing something else today. Maybe they're also playing Oblivion. I think we're pretty much done here today, guys. Seems like all the questions are pretty much answered, or the interesting ones at least. On 300 milligrams testosterone, 2 IU Seristim a day. If I increase my test to 400, 500, should I also titrate my GH up for synergy? Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, so if you go to, let's say, 450 tests, so you add 50% of your current testosterone dose on top of it, I think that's a fair boost. So 300 tests to 450, and then you add 50% of your current Seristim dose on top, which is 1 IU. So you go to 450 tests and 3 IU Seristim. Enjoy the ride, man. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. Yeah. If you don't want your Seristim, send it to me. I heard it's the best, but I've never used it. Is raw retrobutide okay without fillers? What? Filters? Fillers? What, you order raw retrobutide as a powder, as a... I don't know what you mean, bro. Guys, can you stop about the cigarettes? This is not a channel discussing cigarettes for testosterone. I have a video on this, but I see it way too much now. So you guys are either trolling or you're fucking retarded. But nobody smokes cigarettes to boost their testosterone levels. I have a video on this. Go give it a watch. People who smoke are fucking... I don't know, they smoke in front of the muscle factory nowadays, and it's fucking disgusting. I might not even want to train there anymore. You know, if you want to smoke a cigar in the comfort of a cigar lounge and getting fucking hammered on whiskeys, fine. But smoking cigarettes the whole time, disgusting habit, man. People all look like fucking ashtrays. The questions are answers, but these bums still need to hit the like button. I am no longer counting on that, man. Sure, I wasn't aware. Thanks for your help, massively appreciate it. I'm going to run 6 IU's growth hormone comfortably money-wise. Okay, that's good. That will definitely help. That will definitely help. No worries, man, but it's just, you know, it's the same questions. So please don't throw it anymore. How long do I need to wait before rechecking C-reactive protein after switching underground labs testosterone blends? Does it really depends on all kinetics, MCT metabolism, or ester length? No, so it takes... If it's MCT that usually metabolizes in, let's say, at maximum 48 hours, and it takes about 5 to 7 days for C-reactive protein to come down. So if you're switching brands, I'd say 2 weeks just to play it safe. That's enough time for the injections of the new underground lab to really do their harm, if it causes harm, and enough time for the old underground lab that it was potentially doing harm to metabolize and C-reactive protein levels to fall the baseline, so you see a significant change. Like when my C-reactive protein was 28.1 milligrams per deciliter or milligrams per liter after that bout with epicatogen from ND, came down in a week from 28.1 to, let's say, 2.5, 3, give or take. So it comes down really, really fast. But I was taking an oral epicatogen, so you take it, it goes in, and then it goes away. But you don't have to deal with the carrier oil, which lingers in the injection depot for maybe 2 or 3 or 33 days if it's castor oil. But castor oil doesn't cause any inflammatory response. All right, guys, let's throw in the towel. I'm gonna play some more fucking Oblivion. Tamriel is waiting. I'll see you guys next weekend. Hopefully, there'll be a little bit more people in the chat for more questions. So, and then we can do a little bit longer. But for now, we are done with the Qs, or at least the fun ones. So again, all the links for all the videos that are dropping, that have already dropped or dropping soon next week, it's all linked down below. Give it a watch. Don't forget to vote for which deep dive you want to see shortly. Again, let's see which one is pending still or in the lead still. Quickly check if there's any percentage changes. Nandrolone 57%. Okay, so more people are voting for Nandrolone. So I guess the Nandrolone video is next. Aren't you guys happy that I put that poll up? Right, I need a little bit of incentive to get that Nandrolone video deep dive out the door, even though I'm not looking forward to 5 days of recording. Well, if you guys want to see it, then I'm willing to do it. All right, guys, enjoy your weekend. Peace out, and I'll see you next weekend. Vigorous Q&A is here every week again because my holiday days are over for the next very long time. So at least you guys are, well, can ask your questions here. See you guys soon. Take care.